What's up, man? You want to try and answer the question?
Yeah.
It's a very easy question. You know what this is?
Yeah.
Have you seen this before?
To level.
Right?
Level,
What do we use these for?
To level how the thing is. Like
Right,
the
right, right.
construction, the bubble has to be some
Right. If I were to ask you for like your definition of level, what would that be?
flat.
Right? Horizontal?
Yeah. Horizontal.
Right. So based on that knowledge, which one of these two is correct? Which one represents level? Which one of those two graphs represents the level as we know it?
Seems like a trick question.
Let me make it more clear. Which one of these two represents water being level? How about that?
This one?
A or B? A, right?
A, yeah.
Yeah, obviously. That's the obvious answer, right? Because this is a horizontal line.
Yeah,
this
it
is not,
says
right?
5 feet across.
Exactly, right?
Time.
In other words, it didn't deviate, right? This one deviated, so it's a curve, so it's not horizontal, right?
Yeah.
So the level will always be horizontal, and horizontal will always be level, right? In other words, this can never be considered level, right? So will it surprise you to know that over 90% of the population, maybe even including yourself, even though we know this is the correct answer, we believe is this one? You want to know why?
People think it's a trick question going into it.
Close. You want to know the real reason?
Yeah.
Do you believe Earth is a ball?
Huh?
Do you believe Earth is a ball? The Earth?
It's probably more not exactly shaped. Probably a lot of curvature in it.
So you think it's like an oblate spheroid?
Yeah.
So even if it's a perfect sphere or oblate spheroid, the physics of water will have to be B. Because the water, every ocean on Earth, and every lake, basically an ocean on Earth, basically, will have to be curving exactly to basically make the ball, right? And we know that the physics of water don't do that. Like the lake here, the surface of that water is perfectly level because that's how we measure. We use water to determine level. So the answer will always be A, but we believe it's B because that's what we're taught in school. Do you understand that? So there's a curve calculator. So they tell us that the Earth is a certain size, right? They actually tell us it's 24,901, which is right under 25,000. And this will be how much it should be curving. So if you look here, this is a perfect spherical trigonometry of the size they told us it was. So basically, in 3 miles, it should be 6 feet of curvature.
That's how much it curves.
Exactly. So in other words, if we start at 5 feet in 3 miles, because each dot represents half a mile.
Yeah.
So 1 mile, 2 miles. By 3 miles, it should be plus 6. So 5 plus 6.
11 feet.
Exactly. There should be that gap should be measurable in reality, but it's not.
It's not.
Have you ever heard of flat Earth?
Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
Bullshit. I don't think it's true.
This proves it though.
Yeah.
So it's not bullshit. That's my point. That's why I'm out here. I don't know if you knew, but this information is actually being censored because it's literally this simple to understand. You see how you just got it like that?
Yeah.
But they want us to believe this because why? They want us to not trust our own senses. Because if we don't trust our senses, we don't trust our own intelligence. What was that?
So you believe in flat Earth?
Well, it's not a belief. I go what physics shows me because physics doesn't lie. People lie. You know.
I wouldn't use the term flat Earth. I would say that it's level.
Yeah, it's level. Flat Earth is just like a term that has been like propped up to be mocked. So, you've heard of flat Earth, but you automatically thought, it's bullshit, right? But it's because it's being censored. So basically, I don't know, you use YouTube?
Yeah.
Basically, YouTube channels that are about science, but have millions of subscribers, they're basically there to like keep this information hidden, basically.
Yeah.
Or to misinform. So I don't know if you know of like the theory of gravity, right? The theory of the Big Bang. The theory of evolution. So all those theories exist to back each other up. Why? To make us believe in this, in the ball Earth. Why? Because they don't want us to find out what Earth actually is. Because in reality, all we know that it's level, the surface, but we don't know what it actually is. So I don't know if you knew, but outer space, the lights in the sky, you know how they tell us they're planets like Earth, right, and all that?
Yeah.
They're actually really close lights. You want to see what they look like? Have you seen before how they look like? Yeah. I can show you, watch. Oh, well, here we go. So this is what the stars actually look like when you zoom in with a powerful zoom camera. And this is what the planets look like. In other words, they're both basically around the same distance because look how much we could literally bring them both into the same focus with the same zoom, basically. It's 83 times zoom. So basically that tells us that they're in our visible space.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to
and we don't have infinite vision. I don't know if you knew that, but our vision is very limited. An object gets smaller and smaller at the distance till it disappears. That's the limit of our vision. I don't know if you knew, but that's what the horizon is. The horizon is the limit of our vision. So when people think that boats are going over the horizon, that's just the limit of our vision. Because we're not Superman. We can't see infinitely, you know what I'm saying? So
good zoom camera brings
yeah, and if you zoom in, Exactly.
With the
So
same amount, you'll get around the same size.
exactly. So basically, I don't know if you ever heard of the term sea level.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So exactly, level. What does level mean all the time? Horizontal.
Horizontal.
So you know how they measure altitude and depth of the ocean? They have to do it from a baseline, which is straight. They couldn't measure depth and height from a curve, especially a ball. That wouldn't make any sense. All the heights wouldn't match with each other. They'll be all off, right? But we actually use altitude because airplanes fly level. Airplanes fly straight. So they have to, they reach their height of cruising level, and they remain at that height until they basically get to the destination, and then they decline and land. They never account for curvature when they fly. They fly level over the ocean because it's level, sea level. I actually have some information here, so if this is something that interests you and you want to learn more about it, because obviously I can't tell you everything about it, but this is the #1 experiment that will prove it. Because if we were to build a perfectly level structure, like a giant ruler, basically like a bridge over a body of water, we should literally be able to measure this curvature. It should be there, And I don't know if people's main proof for this will be like, oh, gravity, right? That'll be an excuse to explain why water curves, right? But even if gravity was real, this curvature should still be measurable.
So you don't think gravity is real?
So gravity is actually, I don't know if you knew, it's not a force. It's actually a measurement of the rate of which things fall. So it's a measurement of speed, which is distance traveled in a certain amount of time. So it's not a force, a measurement.
Yeah, it's not mass attracting mass.
Yeah, it's not. That's made up to make you believe in this. Again, theories to make us believe in this. So basically, the globe Earth, it's like a religion. It's like the New Age religion, basically. Because what do all religions have in common? They all have a creation story, and they all tell you how to live and what to do, how to behave. The government does that for us. They even put laws to make sure we follow them, right? They give us the story of the Big Bang, and they even give us a God called money. I don't know if you knew, but people worship money. People worship God. So that's the God that this society basically offers people, and people buy into it. But I don't know if you knew, money has no value. It only has value because we believe it has value. So it doesn't have any value at the root. It's made up, basically. But in order to make people believe that it does, they have to completely warp your perception. And how do they do that? By making you believe something that's so obvious and simple like this is something that it's not. You know what I'm saying? So let me give...
It's a way to get you to not trust yourself.
Exactly. If you don't trust your common sense, then you have no common sense. And who knows what will happen to you then? You just follow orders, being told what to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's some links on there. Some websites, because this information, like I said, if you go on YouTube and just type flat Earth, to be honest,
So just be stuff.
ridiculing it, making fun of it, because again, they'll never talk about. Here's another thing. I don't know. Yeah.
All kinds of theories.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard of the term controlled opposition. Controlled. So basically, what that means is when a member of one side infiltrates the other team, but pretending to be part of their team, basically to make them lose. You know what I'm saying? So it's like somebody in disguise, basically, to from one team to the other team. So basically what that means is that there's even flat earthers that are controlled opposition. In other words, they'll never talk about this experiment. They'll talk about flight paths, and they'll try to use that as proof that Earth is not a ball. They'll talk about NASA, pointing out their flaws in their videos, but they'll never talk about the structure either. Why? Because they're there just to make money as well. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Flat Earth channels that are monetized are usually just in it for the money and just trying to keep people confused as well, because again, money is what fuels this lie. I don't know if you knew, NASA gets over $60 million a day, every day. Think about it. With $1 million, we could recreate this structure. And sure enough, wouldn't they want to prove this to be true and shut all the flat earthers down, right? Once and for all? With just $1 million of their budget, they get $60 million a day. So $1 million should be nothing to create this structure to prove that it curves, right? But they don't want to do it because water is always level. You can't change physics. You know what I'm saying? Steel is always going to be stronger than wood, no matter what. We can't change physics and make wood stronger than steel. That doesn't work. Just like we can't bend water. Water always takes the shape of a container, and the surface is always level. Always. If you don't have a container, water will just expand and equalize in every direction. You need a container to maintain it, and the surface is always level. So, what do you think about this? Have you heard anyone else talk about this? Right,
yeah.
Right. I'm glad you stopped. Because this information, believe it or not, is being censored heavily.
Yeah.
The news. I don't know if you know Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, El Negrito.
Yeah, he's just an actor. Put it that way. So, because this is basically, we've been lied to basically our entire life. I'm 30 years old, and I believed this for 24 years of my life. So do the math. 6 years ago, I realized this, and that's why I'm out here, because to be honest, I wouldn't be out here if it wasn't being censored. The fact that it's being censored and I'm just laying back and watching everybody just believe, I just can't. I have to come out here and talk to people, and show them the simplicity of this, because it's very easy to understand.
Trying to make it look funny.
Yeah. Again, control that, but don't trust anyone, look at the information. Don't trust anyone, because people lie. Go to physics, understand how our reality works. That's how we determine what's true and what's not,
And if not, then it's just another religion,
Yeah, just
science,
if they yeah.
Science, quote unquote, that you have to just believe in.
Exactly.
You can't recreate.
Yeah, if you're claiming that it's science and I have to believe in it, then it's pseudoscience. I don't know if you heard of that term, pseudoscience. No, it basically means fake science. So basically, the word theory, it's basically a fancy word for I imagine, my imagination. Yeah, basically. Yeah, and exactly.
Like
So
uneducated guess.
exactly. Well, kind of, but in this case, it's uneducated because it's based on the belief that Earth is a globe. So everything about space is uneducated guesses because they're assuming the Earth is a ball, and then now they're making assumptions about what's in the sky, right? But look at it; they're really close, and they actually look like they're twinkling in water. So some people used to think that the sky, that the sky is water, and that's why it's blue. And actually, it looks like they're twinkling in water. So I don't know.
That's because stars are sun.
That's what they tell us. But that's the thing. If there were trillions of, think about it though. If there were trillions of miles away, we shouldn't be able to zoom into them.
You shouldn't be able to see them with the naked eye.
You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be able to zoom into them and see this much detail. Look how they look. When we zoom in, it should just look like a white twinkling light, like we see it every night. Because 83 times zoom is nothing compared to trillions of miles.
But for a fact that it's 83 times zoom?
Yeah, I have the camera. It's a P900. It's a Nikon P900. Yeah, you could look it up.
We've actually zoomed into the stars
ourselves, but they don't look as clear as this because obviously the sky here is kind of polluted. So these are pictures taken from like good areas on Earth where the sky is really cleared and you're able to get good pictures of them. But yeah, what do you think?
It's pretty interesting.
Right. All right, man.
Are you gonna post me?
Oh, you actually wanna take a look at this later on?
Yeah,
I'll
check it out, but I don't want to be posted.
Oh, well, here you go. Well, you could check it out, but trust me, you did really good. People will want to see your honesty. You were really honest, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, man. Have a good one.